This is Capricorn's compatibility with each zodiac sign. Capricorn and Aries. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. This is a very difficult combination of signs when it comes to sexual compatibility. Rulers of Aries and Capricorn are Mars and Saturn. These planets are considered archetypal or karmic enemies. When it comes to sexuality, it is mostly signified by Mars, and its contact with Saturn may result in all sorts of physical and objective obstacles on the way to a healthy sex life. Saturn puts too much pressure on Mars and takes a lot of its energy. Their relationship will result in lack of sexual desire, the mutual feeling of incompetence or even impotence of one or both included parties. When this sort of relationship happens, it is in most cases triggered by some deep unconscious need to be held back and restricted when it comes to sexuality. As with everything that comes through the sign of Capricorn, with time Aries' partner could achieve some sort of balanced state in which they are sexually satisfied and their instinctive needs are met. Unfortunately, Capricorn partner will lose their energy and the need to participate in this sort of sexual behavior by that time. This will ultimately lead to their separation, for there is nothing light or easy with these two, especially when it comes to intimate matters. Because of the unconscious type of their relationship, they could be insanely attracted to each other, but in most cases their differences will keep them at a safe distance. At their best, Capricorn will support Aries' libido and control their passion to burn as slowly as possible. At the same time, Aries would consider their partner a teacher and learn about their body and the way to satisfy them. Still, this is a balance that is extremely hard to achieve when the clash of these two hard personalities happens. Trust. Since they are both in extremes and all or nothing types of people, it will be easy for them to trust each other. Even if they have deep misunderstandings in other areas of their relationship, they will rarely betray each other's trust. This is something they will easily take for granted though, for when they are together, they seem to lose awareness of the things between them that should be treasured. One of them should have the sense to remind the other from time to time about the qualities that their bond includes. Communication and intellect. They should keep their conversation in touch with career goals, achievements at work and physical activity, for Capricorn exalts Mars, the ruler of Aries. Other than that, they don't have much to talk about. Rarely will a Capricorn partner allow their impulsive and from their perspective even stupid Aries partner to have their own opinions and value them as useful or practical. Although they will certainly respect their initiative and energy level, the rest of Aries' behavior is simply unacceptable in most matters. Since Capricorn has their feet on the ground and is capable to measure the situation rationally, they will hold on to their calm opinion about their partner's lack of tact and endurance or even of their idiotism. You can imagine how annoying this can be to an Aries, especially if you take into consideration their passionate need to set strong boundaries and be respected in every way possible. On the other hand, Aries will simply have no patience for their Capricorn partner. They will seem boring and as if they only want people in their life to be useful. This will be attributed to their selfishness and lack of emotion and heart. Both of them will be wrong in a way, for they would need to understand what they both could become if the right person or motivator came along. The problem is they could remain stuck in this pointless ego battle until they both get so tired that they will hardly think of another relationship ever again. Emotions. In this special case, it would be best not to call this paragraph emotions, but understanding. Their problem is in the way they understand each other to begin with. At the beginning of their relationship, they will both probably have an image of the other person as someone they could become after some effort is put into their growth. The problem is that no one here wants to change. Their emotions could easily be connected to this first image they've had, however unrealistic it might be. So this is exactly what we would call the lack of understanding, because these two could be crazy in love with each other's false image and crazy persistent to change one another. Their problem really isn't the lack of emotion to each other, although you could easily contribute their issues to emotional disability considering their Mars-Saturn nature, but the lack of understanding and acceptance of each other. They are often too stubborn and narrow-minded to see that there is something different than what fits into their boundaries of possible personal characteristics. Values. They both value independence, clarity and honesty, and in general their system of values is not what brings problems to their relationship. Mostly, they are in sync when it comes to serious view of people they are surrounded with. The problem they have is in their unrealistic expectations founded on the fact that they share some values. If Aries values someone's ability to endure and push themselves over all possible personal barriers, that doesn't mean they are ready to become this person or have the control to be one. Similarly, Capricorn might value speed and focus of some people, but this doesn't mean they will jeopardize their depth or attention to detail just to be faster, or leave deep psychological needs unattended only to stay focused at some goal. Capricorn and Taurus. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. Taurus and Capricorn can both be quite rigid when it comes to sex. This is exactly what could make them a perfect couple. In combination with other signs of the zodiac, it can be hard for them to open up and feel the need to experiment, even though Capricorn will do their best to show how ingenious they are when it comes to sex. When they get together and get to know each other intimately, they will learn what it means to relax. Capricorn won't feel the need to show off, and Taurus will let go of their fear of getting hurt. The problem in their relationship can be hidden in their understanding of the moon, for Taurus exalts it, and Capricorn doesn't like it very much. They could have trouble connecting on an emotional level if Capricorn doesn't fall in love deeply enough or has trust issues. This will be multiplied by Taurus' need to be loved unconditionally that they show in an endless loop, scaring their Capricorn away. Their different approaches to the combination of sexual instincts and love are what could make a gap between them. Taurus has a problem with initiative and aggression, not understanding Mars that well, while Capricorn needs initiative, physical strength, and supports Mars. In their sex life, this could lead to a lack of emotion from Capricorn partner, leading to the frustration of Taurus, scared away by their libido with no emotional foundation. This could go as far as impotence and a general lack of sexual desire in both partners, unless they hold on to intimate nature of their sexuality and approach each other as different individuals with certain needs. Trust. Capricorn just isn't into lying. They don't even judge it, but find it unnecessary and stupid. Even when they do tell a lie, in most cases it is an experiment with other human beings to see if they can guess where the truth lies. When they are intimately involved, they like things between them and their partner clean and true. Taurus can easily sense this and will feel secure enough to not give in to their occasional need to hide things from their partner. Taurus is ruled by Venus, a planet exalted in the sign of Pisces, so they have this understanding of importance of secrecy when they are in love. With Capricorn, they can find a way to hide their intimacy from the rest of the world and stay true to their loved one for a very, very long time. Communication and intellect. Although they have different natures, they understand each other very well and motivate each other to grow each of them in their needed direction. Their differences are exactly there to make them a perfect couple, because they complement each other in a more subtle way than their opposing signs. The deep understanding of the moon is something Taurus is blessed with and Capricorn lacks in their core. The fear of emotion can easily become a daily routine of neglect toward their personal emotional needs. Taurus has a mission to teach Capricorn about the significance of tenderness one should always have for oneself. In return, Capricorn will help Taurus deal with responsibility and teach them how to reach their goals with no distracting emotions. It is not always easy for them to understand each other, but with enough compassion and openness to feel for the other person, they can support each other in a way no other pair of signs can. After all, they do belong to the element of Earth, and can make magic in our material reality when they reconcile their differences. Emotions. It is difficult to say with certainty they will find emotional fulfillment with each other because they are both very careful when it comes to love. This is usually something like a pattern to be broken when they do begin a relationship, for they have enough time and patience for one another. From the perspective of Taurus, this might not be the best emotional contact they've ever had, but from Capricorn's perspective, things can't get much better than being loved by a Taurus partner. However, there is a dose of almost unbearable satisfaction Taurus will feel when their long-term digging reaches the emotional core of their Capricorn partner. When this contact is reached, they will rarely feel the need to separate from them again. To Capricorn, this may seem as if someone literally touched their heart, and they will probably never want to let their Taurus partner go. Values. With shared sense for value of the material world, these two can get really far together. While Taurus would create and motivate, Capricorn would lead the way to success and financial security. Whatever their goals, they could easily reach them together due to the fact they share the same material values to begin with. Still, they don't have such a peachy situation when it comes to their approach to emotions and family. They should observe different sides of their personalities as complementing instead of destructive and find a way to coexist, giving value to each other's shadow. Shared activities. You could say that Taurus is lazy and Capricorn never stops working, but this is not exactly the case. If any sign in the zodiac needs rest, it would be Capricorn. Their high ambition can lead them to a state of low energy, and Taurus is there to mend their tired soul with fine food and time for joy. On the other hand, if the creative, motivating side of Taurus is awakened by the striving nature of their Capricorn partner, they will become everything but lazy and make room for both of them to be satisfied and happy with what they've accomplished. In short, they can do anything together, for as long as they hold on to a fine balance of activity and rest. In summary, Taurus and Capricorn can form a relationship so deep that their creative power in the material realm could seem unreachable for other signs of the zodiac. With the ability to complement each other in a gentle, slow way, they are the most boring couple on the outside, with most exciting inner activity that stays hidden from the rest of the world. If Taurus motivates their Capricorn partner, and Capricorn shows the way of accomplishment to their Taurus partner, they could work together, raise children and share a life with more fun than they are both used to, or simply form an unbreakable bond. When their deep emotions intertwine, they are bound to each other for eternity. Capricorn and Gemini. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. There are certain activities that don't require many words, and in Capricorn's humble opinion, sex is one of them. Then Gemini comes along and starts explaining each position, the interesting overview on Kama Sutra, and the beauty of outdoor sex. It is almost unbearable to watch these partners with their completely different philosophies while they try to maneuver their sex life. In order for Capricorn to experiment in sex, their partner needs to manage to really relax them and open their mind. With Gemini, they feel like taking care of a child heading for trouble, getting naked wherever they feel like it. Although this is not actually the case, this is how it may seem to Capricorn, reliant on traditional values and always taking responsibility for their actions. In most cases, they will hardly even be attracted to one another. If they become sexual partners, there is a big chance that Gemini will find their Capricorn partner uncreative and stiff, while Capricorn would think of Gemini as too unconventional. The strangest thing in this combination of the signs is in the fact they will both probably consider each other boring. Yes, everyone would say Capricorn can be boring and Gemini is so interesting and fun, but actually, the lack of focus and deep feelings Gemini partner usually suffers from is a huge turnoff for Capricorn. All things considered, these two are not actually the best sexual partners among the zodiac signs, but could make a meeting point in a relationship with enough boundaries and enough creativity of both partners. Trust. A typical Capricorn representative will not be easily tricked. Gemini partner can have a tendency to flirt a lot and to consider light adultery normal. This is thinking of a crazy person in the opinion of a Capricorn, and there are no levels of adultery in their world. What's clear is clear. Still, because of Capricorn's trust equation that makes their life easy, they will tend to trust their Gemini. Actually, they will trust their own interpretation of what Gemini says. Capricorn always goes one step deeper than others, and Gemini rarely puts that much thought into their alibis. This is why Capricorn will read them with so much ease, probably knowing exactly where they've been and what they are dishonest about. Gemini, on the other hand, will find Capricorn so square and by the book that they won't even doubt their faithfulness and honesty, even if they have something to hide. Communication and intellect. It is safe to say that Gemini can talk to anyone and settle any issue by communicating. Unfortunately, this doesn't mean a lot to a Capricorn when they recognize the lack of essence in the things their partner says. However, they will still have a lot to talk about because there is always that serious side to Gemini in one of their personalities that will have a thing or two to share with a strict and sometimes difficult Capricorn. It is a good thing that Gemini are interested in literally everything that exists in the world and outside of it. So if nothing else works, they can always talk about space stations, diamond stars, and other galaxies. Capricorn is interested in things that have deep, hidden meaning, looking at them as equations that should be solved and admiring problem solvers. They could spend their life in this strange analysis that is not so much focused on details as maybe Virgos would be, but on the bridge between different worlds. Capricorn is fascinated by the before and after logic behind every little thing, and this is where Gemini can help them set a list to investigate. If they are at peace and don't look at each other as stupid, distant, or boring, they could help one another build a better understanding for the world. Capricorn's steady, secure nature could teach Gemini how to make schedules and organize their thoughts and their actions, giving them a chance to move each thought a step further. In return, Gemini's childish approach to life can be something wonderful for Capricorn to incorporate in their life in order to be happier. Emotions. Ruled by Mercury and Saturn, both signs are not that emotional, but the real problem is in the fact that they usually don't even spark some emotions in one another. Although both of them can have relationships with other not-so-emotional signs in which they feel awakened with their partner, when they are with each other, they can be immune to each other's charm. There is just not that much to connect them, and mostly their emotional relationship comes down to Gemini's dark thoughts and Capricorn's emotional distance. Values. Gemini truly values information in any form and shape, someone's ability to talk beautifully, to creatively use their hands and to implement ideas with a higher purpose. Capricorn values stability, punctuality, and plain honesty. Although they will both be dazzled by the independence of their partner, the rest of their worlds rarely coincide that much. Shared activities. They would both walk a lot, that's true, but the divergence of their motives is almost unbelievable. Capricorn is a sign of useful things, and they will want to have useful activity, whatever it may be. If they do go for a walk, they will want to do this in order to get from point A to point B, or to have a healthier lifestyle. When Gemini walks, they never know where they'll end up. They might have started their route on the way to the supermarket, but one telephone call later, they are already in their car, heading to a different city. It is a good thing that Gemini always wants to learn new things, and Capricorn likes routine and dedication, so they have a strong base for constructive studying and problem solving. However, in most cases, their roads go in different directions. In summary, Gemini and Capricorn partners are a very strange fit. Although they are both looking for things the other person has, they don't seem to recognize them in each other. While Gemini needs someone to ground them and give them depth, when they look at Capricorn, they see someone old, unmovable, and boring. Capricorn needs joy and relaxation in their life, but Gemini seems like a ball of uncontrollable, superficial opinions heading nowhere. In truth, they could have a valuable experience being together, sharing their different lives day after day. They might even find out that they actually work well together and have the ability to reach any goal that they think of. Capricorn and Cancer. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. Cancer and Capricorn are opposing signs, and there is a strong attraction between them. When they get together, a passion awakens and they both become perfect lovers for one another. The patience Capricorn has for their partner is something Cancer really needs to relax and start feeling sexual to begin with. Capricorn needs someone who acts on true emotion, but also someone who doesn't take sex lightly. There are Capricorn representatives who have changed many partners, but they will probably never stay with the one that isn't family-oriented and emotional when it comes to physical relations. Intimacy Cancer can create is exactly compatible to what Capricorn lacks. There is a lack of love, home, and warmth in the sign of Capricorn, and Cancer partner can heal this with their highly compassionate approach. This could lead to thawing of Capricorn's emotional state and uplift the state of their sex life significantly. Trust. Although Capricorn might seem trustful, they are probably one of the least trusting signs of the zodiac. Not only is the sign of Pisces in their third house representing the way they think, but they are also often led by panic in their intimate relationships. When a Capricorn representative falls in love, they will understand that their partner needs to see trust, and this is what they'll show. However, they could have trouble believing anything their partner says until some consistency is proven or their stories checked out with other people. Luckily, in Cancer's world there is often nothing that ugly and secretive to find, for their moral values are as high as the exaltation of Jupiter in their sign. For as long as Cancer feels Capricorn's devotion, they will not question their actions. This is why Cancer could easily sense their partner's lack of trust, pretend that they didn't notice, and find it endearing rather than repulsive. Communication and intellect. This is a couple that has the strangest thing in common: genetics. Not literally, of course, but they often share their image of a relationship their distant relatives had, maybe centuries ago. There is information in our emotional body about each emotion our ancestors have felt and didn't know how to deal with or how to use. This is where Cancer and Capricorn connect, as signs of the family we come from and the family we will create. These partners could feel like they have known each other before they've actually met. Their mutual affection will seem familiar and warm, as if they grew up in the same house, even though their circumstances might be completely different. This could make them able to talk about anything, for there is closeness to the relationship of these two signs that is unexplainable to all others. However, if this emotional bonding doesn't come at first impulse, Capricorn could be very difficult to talk to from Cancer's perspective. They need to connect on a very deep level, or they will have opposite goals, and Capricorn could seem like a career-obsessed lunatic with no emotion whatsoever, while Cancer could seem like a clingy housewife. They should both remember that if they see each other in this negative light, they are probably only hiding from their own, inner opposite side, dismissing the chance to be complete. Emotions. Cancer and Capricorn are a love story their ancestors had, waiting to be resolved. Although this could sound like a dream come true and could in fact create very strong emotions in both partners, there is almost always a karmic debt to be repaid before they could say they are truly happy together. These signs represent the axis of Jupiter's exaltation and fall, and it is important to understand that their emotional states are closely linked to their expectations from each other and their relationship. These two are considered one of the most and one of the least emotional signs of the zodiac. One of them should be family-oriented and the other turned to their career. Still, their emotions often run wild as soon as they lay eyes on each other. In time, they will both fight for security and stability of their relationship, and although it might be hard for them to reconcile these primal emotional differences, they will in most cases simply find a way. The emotional depth of Capricorn is really hard to reach, but Cancer partner can approach this as their life challenge. When they get tied to each other, it is almost impossible for them not to get married, have children, and the entire earthly love package. Still, they could take so much of each other's energy if they tried to change each other. It is best for them to accept each other's personalities as inevitable and impossible to change. This could lead to a more sensible future than the one in which they are both simply tired of each other. Values. They both value stability and practical sense. As opposing signs, they can seem to have opposing values, but this is not really the case. They both need stability in their lives and will value people who give them the sense of security. This is probably something they will value most in each other, the ability of both not to quit or give up, however hard things might get. Shared activities. Cancer is not very picky when it comes to activity choices their partner has, for as long as they are not imposed on them or too aggressive for their taste. Capricorn is careful and will plan their activities well in advance, so both of them will have time to adjust to the idea or change their minds if they realize that this is not what they want. It will be very easy for them to agree on what they want to do together and find such activities, only if they respect each other's personalities. Capricorn will not want to go shopping for house decorations, no more than Cancer will want to go 3 nights without sleep just because of a project at work. If they respect each other's boundaries, their time spent together should be truly satisfying for both. In summary, Cancer and Capricorn are usually bound to relive the love story of someone who lived before their time. This deeply seated need to mend what is broken in our family tree is something we all carry within, but these sun signs are predestined to handle karmic debts and residue emotions from their families. They will have to deal with problems first if they want to be free of the past, and only after they have repaid what needed to be repaid, will they be able to truly choose one another. In most cases, this is a once-in-a-lifetime love for both partners, and they will probably choose each other without a doubt. Capricorn and Leo. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. Leo and Capricorn have one thing in common, and it is their awareness of themselves. It will be a rare occasion when Leo is attracted to a Capricorn, but the other way around attraction seems more probable. However, they won't often get to the sexual part of their relationship, for even though they both might enjoy the chase, they will not see their future together. Leo is a warm, passionate sign, and Capricorn likes to be cool-headed and practical. This doesn't mean that Leo isn't at all practical, or that Capricorn isn't passionate, but they won't see each other as similar in any way. The rulers of these signs represent one of the archetypal conflicts of the zodiac, and tell the story of the fallen ego. This need could easily pull them both in a direction which will endanger their self-esteems and affect the image they have on their beauty and attractiveness. This is usually ignited by Leo's freedom of sexual expression that Capricorn fears, leading to the insecurity in both partners because they are not able to fit into each other's set of expectations. Their sex life can easily become boring for both partners, and what they often don't realize is how similar they actually are. The only way for them to have a healthy sex life is to share warmth and always bring new experiences, spicing things up. If they find themselves in a rut, they might stay there for a very long time, leading to the loss of libido and confidence, up to a loss of any sexual desire. Trust. Capricorn knows that Neptune falls in Leo. This is exactly why they also know what hides behind the act in their Leo partner. The depth Capricorn is prepared to go to makes Leo partner question their own motives and their whole personality. Lies seem to be impossible in this relationship, for each lie told comes right back. As much as Capricorn sees behind the shine of Leo, Leo shines a light on Capricorn's darkness. Nothing stays hidden for long, and as soon as one of them tries to stay secretive, mistrust is awakened. However, in many situations they tend to trust each other because it gets so obvious that there is no reason not to. Communication and intellect. Their priorities differ greatly, and they both have a strong set of personal priorities in their lives. This is something that will not be easily reconciled, and these partners could spend too much time trying to prove to one another why each of them has a point on what comes first. The problem is in the lack of understanding that each one of them has their own mission and their own role. It is futile to insist on someone's priorities changed when they should be different to begin with. If they respect each other enough to accept some pretty big differences, their communication might be very satisfying and fulfilling for both of them. Leo will help Capricorn find a more positive and creative view on every situation, and Capricorn will give Leo the depth and the serious intentions they need. When they combine their abilities to organize, any plan made could be perfect. Emotions. A relationship between a Leo and a Capricorn partner can be truly emotionally challenging, not because they don't love each other, but because they do. Warm emotions of Leo are easily cooled down and buried, and without the ability to express love, Leo can become pretty depressed. In return, the time Capricorn needs to build the emotional story they need will be roughly interrupted by their fiery Leo partner. This could hurt them or lead them to the opinion that Leo is not the right person for them, however attractive, smart, capable, or beautiful they might be. The problem with this couple is in the way they build up emotions, and their best chances are in time and patience, things that Leo rarely possesses, and Capricorn rules. There is no other way to reach the heart of a Capricorn partner and discover that they can be warm too. If there has been too much pain in their prior emotional relationships, both partners could be almost too stubborn to get to the point where they might actually fall in love. Values. Leo and Capricorn both value well-organized people, presentations, and plans. Leo is not much of a plan maker, they would rather go with the flow and look only a couple of days in advance, and they respect Capricorn's ability to focus on the final destination and weigh every step of the way. Still, the sensitive, calm, emotional center that Capricorn values is never found in a Leo, and unless they are truly inspired by their Leo partner, they could take away their worth just because of preferences. Leo values direct, open-hearted people with big smiles, and as soon as they judge Capricorn for not smiling all the time, they might as well end the relationship. Shared activities. Activities these partners might share depend greatly on their priorities, once again. If Leo wants to settle down, they might find it interesting to spend time in a usual, Capricorn way. In return, if Capricorn needs some additional energy and vigor, they will gladly follow Leo in their chosen activities. The most important thing in their relationship is good timing. If it doesn't exist, they will simply resist, stubbornly, doing anything the other person wants to do. In summary, if they meet in the right moment, Leo and Capricorn might get along very well. The main problem in their relationship is the set of priorities they might not share, and the passion or determination that both of them have. It is not an easy job, reconciling Saturn with the Sun, but it brings great benefits when it is done. The structure Leo could get and the creativity they might build on together could lift them to exactly what they desired, however their relationship might end. They differ as much as the earth and the fire, but when they share a common goal, they are unstoppable. Capricorn and Virgo. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. A sexual connection between a Virgo and a Capricorn might be great if they both weren't so stiff and strict when it comes to sex. Even though they don't lack the patience or the understanding for each other, there always seems to be just that one shred of pure emotion missing in their contact. Very often these partners don't get to have sex, because they will have more reason not to, than to give in. The beauty of their sex life, when they manage to synchronize, is in the depth both partners are capable of, that directly links to the depth of emotions they will show through the act of sex. Their main goal is to find someone who doesn't take sex lightly, someone who is not superficial toward them and cherishes them as they should be cherished. There is a certain shyness to both of them, and this is something that will make them go crazy for one another, if they only reach the point behind the rational distance they normally share. Virgo will bring enough change to their sex life, as a mutable sign, ready to experiment with someone who is so reliable and respectful. This is a perfect relationship for both partners to relax and try out new things, if they find a way to open up in the beginning. Trust. Capricorn is a sign that can be trusted, and earth signs understand this best. There is nothing shady about them, nothing unreliable or quick to turn to deceit. Virgo usually has no reason to be unfaithful, except when they suffer from their own lack of faith and emotion that cannot be controlled. Even if this is the case, a Capricorn partner will inspire them to be the best they can be, and as faithful as possible. They will need some time to get used to each other's habits and build the trust they both wish for. When they do, they will rarely break it for anyone or anything else. Communication and intellect. When someone from the air or the fire realm observes these two as they talk, this conversation might seem extremely boring. The flow between earth signs in its clearest form is sometimes unbearable for other zodiac signs, and this is something Virgo and Capricorn truly enjoy. The depth of mind in both of these signs will fascinate them at first, excite them, and make their communication incredibly interesting and informative. They both like a good, respectful debate, and in each other, they can find a perfect adversary. These are signs that make one cycle of communication complete, Virgo deciding what's next to discuss and Capricorn deciding when the subject is resolved. They are like a perfect mechanism, like gears fitting in together to solve any equation the world has to give. Their passion lies within these roles, and when they find an understanding in other areas of their relationship, the intellectual one can be stimulating to the point of absolute bliss. This is a couple who knows that any problem is there to be solved and anything broken is there to be fixed. Emotions. Both of these signs are considered unemotional. Virgo brings Venus to its fall and Capricorn is the sign of the moon's detriment. They do have some emotional issues, but not the same ones, and this helps them find an approach to each other that they both understand. Their relationship needs time, most of all, and the emotions between them need to build, just like trust. With the calm, practical, physical passion rising between them, both partners start building their confidence. With confidence, they feel much more liberated to experiment in life and sex, and this gives true quality to all of the areas of their relationship. The most incredible thing this couple shares is their discovery of one another. In time, they will peel layer by layer from each other's hearts, and be more and more fascinated by what none of them noticed before. Just like a mathematical equation, they represent a mystery box to each another, and they need to open it, bow by bow, side by side, until they unravel the treasure hidden inside it. Values. Both Virgo and Capricorn will value calm, rational behavior and choices, and one's ability to remain smart however unbearable the situation might be. They value depth, and this is something they will find incredibly soothing in one another, for they will both feel like they don't need to pretend to be shallow anymore. They will both value practicality, grounding, money, and rational investments. The main difference they have to resolve here is in the value of Capricorn's goals, for they might be ready to do too much from Virgo's point of view in order to reach them. In return, Capricorn doesn't understand Virgo's lack of motivation and their lack of need to claim the leading position. Shared activities. Where Capricorn wants to go up, Virgo wants to go forward. Even though they are both earth signs, and this will allow them to follow each other with the same energy, they don't connect that well on the choice of places they want to visit. They will both want to go to a history museum and learn a lot of information there, but Capricorn often doesn't want to deal with doctors, let alone the calorie counting in green tea. There is no other sign to understand Virgo's need to sacrifice better than Capricorn, but if they don't feel responsible for their partner's activities, they will rarely follow them to depression. The most important thing to do here is hold on to positive activities and to a routine that makes them both healthy and happy. In summary, Virgo and Capricorn belong to the element of Earth and follow each other's pace perfectly. Even if everything between them seems too slow for some other zodiac signs, they build respect, trust and love on the foundation of mutual analysis and detailed examination. The search for perfection can be ended in this relationship, for they give each other enough time and listen to each other well enough to meet the expectations that need to be met. Both of these partners can be stiff and lose sight of the importance of the emotional, mellow approach to life, and this relationship can make them rough and too strict. Still, in most cases, they will give each other enough time to grow out of this and grow old together. Capricorn and Libra. Capricorn and Libra sexual and intimacy compatibility. When we are speaking of a sexual relationship between a Libra and a Capricorn, the first thing that comes to mind is waiting. Ruled by Venus and Saturn, they tell the tale of a soldier that had to leave his wife and came back after years of waiting. When it comes to sex, this is a combination that could point to a lack of sexual activity, even though both of these signs find sex extremely important in their lives. To begin with, they might feel no attraction at all, and even start a relationship on a basis formed in friendship, only to realize that there is no chemistry between them. If lack of attraction doesn't stop them, usually something else will. It is a combination that gives in to outer circumstances and things that are out of their control. Both of them could feel pressured and their self-esteem could suffer greatly. Still, there is an understanding between them ignited by Saturn's exaltation in Libra. This makes them both understand good timing and usually won't allow them to make a mistake expecting what should not be expected. In case they overcome all of the obstacles and form a strong bond through their personal natal positions, Libra and Capricorn can have sexual relations that are pretty conservative, routinely approached, and only satisfying if they both let go of their strict premises and conditions. Trust. A strange thing in a relationship of Libra and Capricorn is a really high level of trust between them. Even though Libra can sometimes have questionable motives, a Capricorn partner will make them turn to Saturn completely and feel guilty at the smallest glimpse of a possible lie. The only possible problem surfaces when Capricorn is too strict from the start, making their Libra partner feel inadequate, judged, or even scared of the consequences of their actions. This could make their relationship dishonest, not because there is actually something to hide, but because Libra partner feels the need to protect themselves by holding on to their privacy. Communication and intellect. We wouldn't say that Libra is that stubborn, but when they find themselves in a relationship with a Capricorn, they suddenly become headstrong and sometimes even impossible to talk to. Even though Libra loves Capricorn because of Saturn's exaltation, this is shown in the most unusual way, for they seem to feel the need to speak out of spite. This can be a long battle, with no winners or losers, simply two people always building walls between each other, for reasons that aren't clear to anyone around them. The biggest obstacles to their understanding are the elements they belong to. Air and Earth are too far apart, and it seems unclear to these partners how to reach each other on any issue in life. Still, there is a prudence to both of them that might give them just enough depth and understanding to have very interesting discussions and motivate each other to build a better foundation for every next debate. If they remain rational in their mental relations, they could have a lot of fun that other signs wouldn't be able to understand. The satisfaction they will both get from serious problem solving might lead them to a point where they find a solution together. Libra puts it in words and Capricorn puts it in action. There is probably nothing in the world that could raise their egos higher than situations in which they manage to resolve something by a simple shared effort. Emotions. The hardest thing to reconcile in the relationship between a Libra and a Capricorn are the ways they approach their feelings. Libra is a sign ruled by Venus, and their emotions come naturally, but usually restricted and held back due to the seriousness of their nature and the judgment of others they fear. Capricorn has a mission in life to accept all emotion, and in most cases, unless enlightened, they will be this judgmental force that holds Libra down. As if this wasn't enough, the entire situation will feed Capricorn's ego and make them think they are right about their approach, leading them further away from their focus point. This is a couple that has to work hard on finding a shared language to show how they feel and still respect each other. The emotional nature of Capricorn makes them distant for many, but completely untouchable for Libra as soon as they start dismissing their feelings. The only thing that can be done here is find a point of absolute respect and acceptance of all emotions and their manifestations. If they allow each other to break things, get angry, cry, make scenes in public, or give in to hysteria, they might find a way to express their love in a way that will be correctly understood. Values. The most important values Libra and Capricorn share are the value of time and taking responsibility. This can help them overcome any differences and opposing attitudes, values, or convictions, for each of these partners will be ready to understand the set of responsibilities they have toward each other. As air and earth signs, both pretty set in their ways, Libra and Capricorn will differ greatly in the value of words and deeds. Libra will communicate and think that their mind is their biggest asset, while Capricorn won't really care if results aren't manifested through the material world. This is a good training for a Libra partner to find grounding, but it usually won't be pleasant for any of them in a romantic relationship. Shared activities. The best thing these two can do together is be boring to the rest of the world. There is a great chance they will be lulled by their relationship to the state of hard work and lazy rest, with no effort for anything creative or inspiring. They need to keep their passions lit and create a weekly routine that will make them get out of the house and do something fun. In summary, if we want to choose the best word to describe the relationship between a Libra and a Capricorn partner, we would have to say hard. This doesn't mean they won't enjoy the trouble of being together, or stay in a relationship for a very long time, but this is most certainly not a bond that many other signs would engage in. Their biggest challenge is the lack of respect for emotional value that is usually initiated by Capricorn, but easily continued by Libra. If they find a way to share, show and understand each other's emotions, everything else will seem like a piece of cake. Capricorn and Scorpio. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. Scorpio and Capricorn share a special sexual bond as signs in sextile with each other, and due to the fact that Capricorn exalts one of Scorpio's rulers, Mars. The physical nature of Capricorn will help Scorpio ground their sexual needs with ease. The main problem of this couple is their relationship to the moon, for they are signs of its fall and detriment. This agreement, not to be too sensitive and emotional, can take out any real intimacy from their sex life and make them too cold and distant, even though physically enjoying their relationship. They might even think that this is all they need, but their hearts won't agree, and other people will show up in their lives that show them how much they actually depend on intimacy. Both of these signs feel a gravitational pull toward their opposing signs, Taurus and Cancer, two of the most emotional signs of the zodiac. This explains their need to build real intimacy. For both of them, physical pleasure has to be achieved through tenderness and emotion, or they won't truly be satisfied. In general, Scorpio exalts Uranus, and they might be a bit frustrated by the conservative approach of Capricorn. It is a good thing they can wait and slowly build up an atmosphere in which their Capricorn partner will be relaxed enough to try new things and experiment. The excitement of this sexual contact is something Capricorn will have trouble letting go. Scorpio, on the other hand, will enjoy the sense of security and patience they get from their partner, even if they openly express their sexuality. Trust. If there is a sign Scorpio can trust, it is the sign of Capricorn. Even though Capricorn representatives don't have to be that honest at all, their relationship with this direct and honest partner will make them feel like they should be as honest as possible too. Any lack of trust in their relationship is a consequence of the lack of intimacy, for they seem to lack the ability to sense each other deep enough to understand if they do trust one another or not. This can be solved if each partner deals with their own insecurities individually and with an emotional effort to build intimacy. Communication and intellect. Fixed, unmovable Scorpio, in the state of constant metamorphosis and evolution in the same direction, can be a bite too big to chew for their stubborn, earthly, long-lasting in everything Capricorn. Their similar pace and the patience Capricorn has, followed by the feel of Scorpio, can help their understanding very much, but when they disagree on something, they could end up in a silent fight for years to come. There is nothing light or easy in this interaction, and even though they understand each other's depth of mind and a certain what goes around comes around view on life, they will rarely laugh, dance, and have fun together. They might think that this is not even something they need, but everyone needs to have some fun and smile, or life loses a lot of its meaning. Dark humor might savor their situation, day after day, and if they have the same friends, it will be much easier for them to enjoy life together. All friendships Scorpio makes become long-term with the help of Capricorn when respected enough, and this could help them build a wonderful surrounding full of understanding people who love them. In general, they get each other's need for silence and patiently approach each other until each of them opens up. This can open the door for a respectful communication and intellectual understanding that lasts for a very long time if they learn to control all the negative convictions that surface when they are together. Emotions. The biggest problem in a relationship between a Scorpio and a Capricorn is their emotional contact, simply because they both tend to have emotional problems, dismissing how they feel by dismissing the moon. When they start their relationship, they will both give the impression of people who stand with their feet firmly on the ground, strong and rough when needed. They will rarely notice that this brings out the expectation to always be the strong person who they were in the beginning, and making them force things on themselves they are not ready for, only to avoid showing any weakness. A lot of deep, emotional understanding is needed for them not to be forced to move even further from their life goal to find emotional balance. Values. It is truly interesting to watch this couple share values with such a difficult relation to Venus and the term of value itself. Scorpio is the sign of Venus detriment and Capricorn brings a lot of guilt into it, so their combination of values is basically founded on feelings of guilt and the sense that nothing is ever good enough. Even though this will be a good motivation for them to get better every day, it is quite difficult to deal with in a healthy, loving relationship in which they should both discover they are good enough. Shared activities. Together, Scorpio and Capricorn will strive for greatness. They will focus their energy on constructive things in order to build the world they wish for themselves. This is not always the most happy, joyful place with rainbows and unicorns, but it is realistic, practical, and most of all good for personal growth. If they start digging into the past, they might find shared therapy revealing, even if they don't need it for any obvious reasons. There is a need in them to dig out the truth, whatever it might be, and this will make it easy for them to spend quality time together without much doubt on what they want to do. In summary, the relationship of Scorpio and Capricorn can be inspiring for both partners to search for the truth, dig up under their family tree and deal with any unresolved karma and debt. They are both deep and don't take things lightly, and this will help them build a strong foundation for a relationship that can last for a long time. However, this exact thing can easily make their relationship too dark and unemotional, pull them both in a state of sadness and depression, or simply awaken their need to search for the light with someone else. Capricorn and Sagittarius. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. There is something unbearable about the sexual contact of these partners. Even when they are attracted to each other and form a sexual bond, after their time has passed, they will probably feel like they shouldn't have been together. There is no logical explanation to this feeling, but it is present more often than not. Differences in their character can be strangely easy for them to handle, simply because a Sagittarius takes everything in with ease, and Capricorn feels responsible enough to understand their partner's immaturity as their own fault, in some strange way. Each Capricorn wants meaning and depth to their physical encounters, for they are slow, thorough, and value their physical reality. Sagittarius often doesn't understand the pace at which a Capricorn wants to move in, nor do they see the importance of the physical world that Capricorn has the responsibility to. In the beginning of their relationship, if they share the same desires, they might not see how incompatible they actually are. Unfortunately, as time passes, it becomes pretty obvious that their archetypal battle reflects on their characters in a way that taints their sex life. The only way they can ever remain in a healthy sexual relationship is if Sagittarius respects the physical as much as Capricorn loosens up and respects change that comes with their partner's Jupiter-governed soul. Their meeting point is in the Sing-opposing Capricorn, where the ruler of Sagittarius is exalted. In other words, their meeting point is in pure emotion. Trust. It is true that Sagittarius is one of the most honest members of the zodiac when it comes to their relationship with others, but they are rarely entirely honest with themselves. Capricorn feels this and recognizes the lack of inner honesty that doesn't seem to change. The problem here is in the fact that Capricorn is the sign of Jupiter's fall, and this is the ruler of Sagittarius, as well as the traditional ruler of Pisces. The magic of life and the beliefs that lead in a certain direction seem to be lost on Capricorn. They know with certainty that the only things that give results are their rational mind and hard work. How can someone like Sagittarius explain to them that beliefs create their reality and that it is enough to believe in a good outcome to affect the entire web of circumstances in a positive way? This issue comes down to a problem with trust, but in fact it goes much deeper than that. Communication and intellect. A Sagittarius and a Capricorn can be full of understanding for each other if they don't jump into a battle over their belief systems. Sagittarius has that optimistic smile that will definitely put a smile on Capricorn's face too, and it will get much easier for those fiery, creative ideas of Sagittarius to find their grounding through Capricorn's practical approach. With enough respect, this is a couple that links a visionary with a builder, and there is really nothing they cannot make when together. If they don't expect change from one another, they are very likely to be extremely intellectually compatible. The most beautiful thing in this contact is in their complementing protective roles. Both of these signs represent protection, Sagittarius ruled by the greatest benefic in Capricorn as our fence, our shell to the outer world. When they manage to build a functional core, these are partners that will never let anyone else affect their relationship. If they are in search of someone who will not allow interfering, meddling, and any type of disrespect from other people, this relationship might be their best choice. Emotions. Sagittarius and Capricorn can find a shared emotional language due to the fact that Capricorn needs someone like their opposing sign to complete them, and Sagittarius tends to become that sign as a place of Jupiter's exaltation. This is where their hearts meet, and if there is enough faith in a Sagittarius, without any unrealistic expectations, they might fall in love deeply. There is a small chance that a Sagittarius will be that mellow, tender person a Capricorn needs, but this is something that can be overcome with enough closeness and understanding of their differences. Values. There is one important thing these partners agree on, and that is the value of intelligence. Sagittarius is a mental sign, focused on philosophy and learning, always in search for unity, synthesis, and that universal truth. Capricorn is the logical continuance of Sagittarius, as a practical tool that uses knowledge. If they don't find each other stupid, they will click in the same wavelength without much trouble and discover that they share a certain depth and curiosity that isn't obvious at first glance. Still, most of their values differ greatly and their needs are often too far off. While one of them values freedom, width, and creativity, the other values practicality, responsibility, and focus. Shared activities. Even though we would think that a Sagittarius will get bored and want to run off from their Capricorn partner, in most cases this doesn't happen. The lack of relationship between their suns helps their bond with a certain lack of disrespect. This leads them into a situation in which a Sagittarius finds their Capricorn partner interesting, as an extraterrestrial they have always wanted to meet. They are different enough to be interested in each other with genuine curiosity, and a Sagittarius is always ready to try out something new. Capricorn will probably refuse many of the childish activities Sagittarius suggests, but it becomes fun to talk them into it, and there is a note of laughter and joy in these attempts. They are both smart enough and aware that their differences exist, which makes their entire story so exciting and refreshing for both. In summary, this is not your ideal relationship, and it will rarely be the one they both choose to stay in for the rest of their lives. Still, their understanding and acceptance of their differences is refreshing and fun for both partners, and they might have a good time while together, for however long. We cannot predict too much stability unless a Capricorn decides to make it, but the smile on Sagittarius' face and the ability they have to make their partner laugh can be the pillar of their bond for as long as they both need it. Capricorn and Capricorn. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. It is hard to say anything about this couple, let alone imagine their sex life. We can see two partners that exalt Mars, meaning their libidos are strong and they have the need to follow their instincts. But we can also see two people who hold on to their restrictions, who deny themselves the right for satisfaction and choose to make rational decisions every single day. Practicality doesn't go well with sexuality, and while other partners can awake their sexual creativity and form an intimate bond with them, two Capricorn partners will rarely satisfy each other in a sexual and an emotional sense combined. On top of this, there is a fact that their sign is a ruler of time itself, and the most probable outcome of their contact is an endless wait for anything to happen. None of them lacks initiative as they do both exalt Mars, but when it comes to taboos and matters of the flesh, two Capricorn partners can't seem to get to the point in which they actually take their clothes off. When they start a sexual relationship, they could go to one of two extremes. Either they will fully understand each other's needs with very few words, or they will just hit the wall every time any partner wishes to create a more intimate atmosphere. Trust. Why wouldn't you trust a Capricorn when you are a Capricorn? Probably because you know you are a better, more honest version of a Capricorn. There is a strange need for a competition between these partners, and this won't exactly help them believe each other or trust their future altogether. The problem here doesn't come down to lies, but to silences they decide to create. If they form that quiet but tense air around them when they try to communicate, both of them will question each other to the point in which they lose sight of who their partner actually is. Communication and intellect. There is so much two Capricorns have to discuss. For 5 minutes. Yes, their intellectual relationship can become a debate arena, but chances are greater for a silent tournament in which none of them can ever win. If they don't speak their mind, analyzing each other like guinea pigs, they won't get very far, and their respect will be shattered as soon as this becomes clear to both of them. In many cases, two Capricorns won't even feel the need to talk to each other that much. They would have a lot to say, both of them interested in each other's lives and stories, but with a fence in front of their faces that doesn't give them the opportunity to truly share. If they work on the same project and find themselves in a situation in which they have to talk, they will discover many things they agree on. In order to build a relationship with the right amount of meaningful conversations, it is best for them to work together and solve the same situations with a shared mind. As they resolve equations of life with one another, they might start enjoying their communication a lot. Emotions. Emotional contact between two Capricorns can be a very interesting thing. These are partners that rely on their lack of emotion most of the time, always trying to be cold, controlling, and rational. When they get together, they will most likely recognize these characteristics, but that won't make them any less annoyed by who their partner is. It is a good thing they share the same approach to all relationships, being unable to open up until someone lets the pressure drop and makes them feel safe and secure to express how they feel. If they truly fall in love with each other, they will need a lot of time to say this out loud, for both of them dread any public displays of emotion and don't feel confident enough for private displays either. They can be saved by a simple word of confidence, and by their understanding of each other's emotional depth that isn't easily reached. Respect, however, won't be enough for them to share the feelings that need to be shared, and they tend to leave each other be, in a certain silence, because of that understanding they have for similarities of their natures. Unfortunately, this drives them even further apart as they fight to remain in an emotional connection by using only their brains. Values. Even though they are members of the same sun sign, every Capricorn is a specific individual with their own set of values that have to be set in stone. It is not easy for one Capricorn to find another Capricorn to share them. The rigid nature of Capricorn doesn't allow much understanding when it comes to behavior that isn't approved, and being a Capricorn doesn't exclude anyone from the primal equations each of them sets. They should stick to the values they share instead of questioning those they don't. Shared activities. Two Capricorn partners could share any possible activity that comes into their minds, but one of them, or both, simply won't. It is hard to determine why when they have the time and the energy, and the only logical explanation seems to be out of spite. Who would say that loyal, responsible Capricorn has this need inside their mind and their heart? When they loosen up and realize that their partner is not threatening them, the two of them will find many things to do together. Still, they might not understand where they need to show up and what is truly important to their partner. If they lose their closeness enough to lose the understanding of each other's needs and desires, there is a big chance they will have to end their relationship and find someone a bit more compassionate and mellow. In summary, the relationship of two Capricorn partners isn't really ideal. One minus might give a plus with the other minus, but these two turn to whatever is the opposite of functional as soon as another dominant partner comes into their life. The game of superiority they will have trouble containing can become the mainstream of their relationship, leading them toward an inevitable end. In order to stay together, they need to point their horns into someone or something else, and make room for emotion they both need in order to find balance. Capricorn and Aquarius. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. It would be easy to make a simple assumption that Capricorn is traditional and restricting, while Aquarius is the opposite, but they are both traditionally ruled by the same planet and it would be silly not to understand their similarities. The main problem in their sex life will be their different pace, and this is mostly caused by the difference in their elements. As an earth sign, Capricorn is slow and thorough. A representative of this sign will rarely jump into a sexual relationship without attraction and respect for another person, and will want to give their best performance when sex finally happens. Aquarius is an air sign, and this does make them kind of flaky and unreliable, although they are ruled by Saturn, the master of reliability. They will want things spontaneous and fast, without much thinking and as relaxed as possible. It is very rare for an Aquarius to have patience to wait for Capricorn to make a detailed plan, and this will be a great turnoff for Capricorn because they don't like anything done in haste and the heat of the moment, especially when it comes to sex. They can both be very passionate when with the right partner, but the starting point in their approaches is usually simply too different to work out. Fortunately, the respect they will have for each other could make them become very good friends, and if they manage to find the right way to communicate, they might even build a quality sexual relationship on a foundation of friendship. Trust. Why wouldn't they trust one another? One of them has stone-cold convictions and the need to never be wrong or make a mistake of any kind, while the other has no fear of confrontation and values the image of truth among the human race too much to have the desire to lie. Their ideas of trust are different though, and it will be hard for both of them to accept each other's natures the way they were meant to be. The lack of trust between them is not really the lack of trust they have in each other, but in the possibility this kind of relationship will work out. Communication and intellect. An intellectual relationship between a Capricorn and an Aquarius can be kind of painful to watch when you are, for example, a Taurus or a Cancer. They have this distant, cold, silent agreement that they are both worth each other's respect, and this can seem terrifying at times as they distance from each other in order to remain in this agreement. They would rather be in no relationship than look at each other in a different way, and because of this they could form a beautiful, lasting friendship. Still, it is important to remember how different they are. Although there is no real freedom for Aquarius if the rules of their preceding sign aren't followed, it is not easy for them to understand each other's way of living. For as long as they hold on to shared interests and their mutual love for the seriousness of their bond, they will be able to maintain the image of a strong intellectual bond that makes them both satisfied. Emotions. The emotional side of a relationship between a Capricorn and an Aquarius is something really strange. In general interpretations, they are both supposed to be unemotional, detached, and closed up for emotional interaction with other people. However, this is not exactly the root of their lack of emotional connection. As an earth sign, Capricorn needs emotions to be shown in a physical, practical way. This is exactly why they are often described as selfish, taking care only of their own needs. It is not easily accepted by the more spiritual signs that someone gives so much attention to earthly things such as money, or any material or career-oriented value. Aquarius belongs to the element of air, and it is a sign of ultimate overall faith, different than any religion or rule that a human might have created. They need heavenly love, someone to share all of their ideas with, so they can float together on a cloud to never land. They will not care much about money, food, or even sex if their elevated spirit gets wings and they get yet another chance to dream. In order to form an emotional bond, both Capricorn and Aquarius will have to accept the other side of reality. Values. Capricorn values boundaries and Aquarius values freedom. So how could they ever possibly be in a loving relationship? It is sometimes easy to forget that the sign of Capricorn precedes Aquarius and that there would be no sense of liberation without enough pressure. Their roles are intertwined in a strange way, and they could find themselves valuing the exact same things if they dig into their personalities a bit deeper. To start with, they both value consistency and loyalty, and they will both consider all of the standard humane evaluations of people necessary. They will choose their relationships on the same grounds when it comes to long-term commitments and rarely allow others to control them. Shared activities. None of these signs lacks energy. Capricorn exalts Mars and knows exactly where to drain it, and Aquarius doesn't really know what to do with it anyway. Even though they won't often choose the same activities, this should help them follow each other for long enough to determine what they both might like. It is only necessary for Aquarius' partner no to force, insist, and speed up, and Capricorn needs not to inhibit, restrict, and deny. In summary, Capricorn and Aquarius might not find each other that interesting to begin with. Both of these things are traditionally ruled by Saturn, but their roles in the zodiac are entirely different. Their most challenging point in a relationship is their emotional contact. If they are to stay together, Capricorn partner will have to separate from the ground just a little, and Aquarius will have to come a bit closer to Earth. They need to meet in the middle, for Capricorn will be able to help Aquarius materialize their ideas, and Aquarius to be able to help Capricorn make the needed change in their life and turn to something new. Capricorn and Pisces. Sexual and intimacy compatibility. There is probably no better way for a Capricorn to relax than to enter a relationship with a Pisces partner. Their sexual relationship is a contact of two powerful individuals, one of them extremely strict and rational, and another flexible and emotional but confident about their beliefs. Differences between them will create a strong attraction, almost as if they were opposing signs. The sex life these partners can share is unexplainable when their characters are superficially observed. But in a different way than a Cancer, Pisces can reach emotional depth of Capricorn by a simple feel. This is not a matter of compassion, but a matter of their deep inner truths. Capricorn isn't unemotional, however obvious their coldness might be, and Pisces can be quite rational, even though they seem lost in emotion. They can awaken the best qualities in each other and share strong intimacy through deep emotional irrational understanding. Their sex life will move in a strangely spontaneous way. Capricorn will be inspired to let go and open up to their partner, while Pisces will easily ground their affections and find a way to show them through physical contact. Capricorn will feel more casual and Pisces will start to gather themselves up. If they stay together for long enough, they could make a perfect blend of stability, trust, and emotional excitement. Trust. They will often understand each other well enough to respect their relationship and keep it clear of dishonesty. This is not always the case, and the possible roughness of Capricorn can sometimes induce Pisces to tell a lie or two. On the other hand, if Capricorn is closed up and unreachable, trust will be disturbed by a simple fact that they don't know each other that well at all. The beauty of their relationship is in their approach to trust when they realize who they are dealing with. Since both of the partners don't trust the world to open up easily, they will have to earn it, day by day, from each other. This might seem like a game or a competition to win over the trust of their partner. Communication and intellect. If anyone can inspire a Capricorn, it is their Pisces partner. They can both care a lot about communication in their relationship, but their bond will allow them to stop talking and start listening. They are both shy in a way, and in order to get to know each other, they will have to be very careful to pay attention to one another. It is a good thing they will both want to do so, intrigued by their partner's nature, excited about getting to know each other in depth. The problem in their communication can arise when Capricorn gives in to their rigid opinions and beliefs. The sign of Capricorn brings Jupiter to its fall, and Jupiter is traditionally the ruler of Pisces. This could truly endanger their entire relationship, for the strict and rational nature of Capricorn can damage the faith and the convictions of Pisces through simple disbelief. Pisces' partner will rarely give up on their belief system, since this is what they live for, but they could question it and feel lonely because of the lack of understanding from their partner. What will be might become I decide what will be, and this can suffocate the spontaneity and the inspiration that Pisces' partner carries within. Emotions. These partners share a deep emotional bond that can be built for years until it truly blossoms. The most wonderful side of their relationship is in the expectance of emotion, the constant growth and their ability to bring out the best in each other. Still, this doesn't mean any of them will actually change their ways, even though they will be the best they can be. Capricorn might remain grumpy, while Pisces might remain flaky and unreliable. When they are too set in their ways, they could end up truly annoying each other as Capricorn quenches the beliefs and the magic of Pisces, and Pisces disappoints reliable, earthly Capricorn. Values. There is a certain consistency in their way of approaching their values. It is strange how someone like Pisces can value stable emotions that much, but they help them to finally rest their mind and their heart when they are in a stable emotional relationship. Capricorn will surprisingly value one's ability to be in touch with their emotions and have a clear vision of a positive outcome. Unfortunately, they will have a real problem in approaching the use of beliefs and emotions in everyday life, and while Capricorn will value cool-headed thinking and one's ability to be rational, Pisces will value the opposite. They will sometimes be too different, Pisces dreaming of a perfect love, Capricorn knowing it is impossible, Pisces imagining a god with a golden beard, Capricorn believing in this moment, or visiting a church because of tradition rather than belief. It won't be easy, but they might value each other enough to overcome their differences. Shared activities. When they begin their relationship, they will want to do everything together. Even though their interests are usually very different, Capricorn will be inspired to get inside the world of Pisces, as much as Pisces will want to solve the equation inside their Capricorn partner. In time, their activities will separate, as they realize that things Capricorn wants to do are boring to Pisces, while things Pisces like to do drive Capricorn crazy with no plan, no intent, or any kind of seeming usefulness. Still, they will both have a need to hold on to tradition, Capricorn for respect of tradition itself, and Pisces for romantic reasons, and this should help them build enough shared activities as time passes. In summary, a relationship between Capricorn and Pisces tells a story about possibilities of inspiration. If someone like Capricorn can be pulled into a crazy love story, exciting and unpredictable, this must be done by Pisces. In return, Capricorn will offer their Pisces partner stability, peace, and some rest from their usual emotional tornadoes. There is a fine way in which Capricorn can help Pisces be more realistic and practical, while feeling more cheerful and optimistic themselves. Still, there are challenges in their contact, mainly represented through their love of Jupiter. It might be hard for them to reconcile their different approaches to religion, faith, and their different belief systems. To overcome this, it is best if they both ask themselves, does their belief system work? And does the one of their partner also work? If they understand answers to these questions, they might find enough respect to leave each other's Jupiter intact. Thanks for watching. If you aren't part of our community, subscribe to stay Zodiac savvy.